Talk. You know, we've had a lot of great guests this evening. We got to taste a little food, we got to see a little art, and now we're going to talk a little bit about some internet marketing and some creative and some other stuff with Mark Regan. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about Flat World Media?
Sure. We are an online marketing firm, so our ideal client is someone who outsources all of their online marketing to us, whether it be paid search, email marketing, search engine optimization, banner advertising, ad serving, and the like, for some more common stuff. And we take that and run with it. So we take what they might have done from a branding perspective and move that onto the online channel and optimize it so that they're spending their money correctly and actually generating whatever their goal is online, whether it be leads, sales, customer retention on the site, involvement in the site, what
customer
have you.
satisfaction, all the different things.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of, you know, it's funny because, you know, I have a question on here. What impact are you hoping to make on interactive marketing? You know what I mean? And I think the answer to that question for most people is any, Mark. Any impact is good because it's an ever-changing world. Tell us a little bit about some of your strategic goals that you have in place, let's say for 2000, the end of '08, and then maybe '09 kind of thing, where you really want to go with that.
As a company, we've built a solution that can be customized at the front and then duplicated out through multiple into smaller markets, so that we can take email solutions and search engine optimization solutions and bring them down to the smaller companies at a price point.
Affordable.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Banner advertising and ad serving, where we're rotating the ads, is something that is usually reserved for much more larger budgets and bigger companies. And what we've done is, through economies of scale, brought that down to companies that now can afford to do that while working with a company like ours.
Can you give us an example of possibly of a client that you have, and then maybe an example of a success that you put your feather in your cap and you go, no, this was rock star stuff.
That's
right
great.
Here, guys.
Sylvan Learning Center out of Baltimore is a wonderful example. We work with them throughout the U.S. and Canada and all their centers, and we take what their corporate brand is and bring it down to a local level, because in a franchise model, which they are, there are a lot of, if you will, small businesses and we bring them together and through co-oping allow them to attack a market, for example, the Tampa Bay market or the Detroit market, and go in and do all of their paid search and optimization and provide what is a national brand, provide a local feel, so that when that parent is out there looking for that service, they realize that, okay, it is the national brand, but I feel like I'm speaking locally, being spoken to locally by this business, and that is really big.
That is a nice thing, because the personal touch, especially in the education realm, and where they're really helping students, and it's seemingly Sylvan is almost like a catch-up kind of thing versus it is an Excel type thing, you know what I mean? And they probably offer both of them.
Absolutely.
But my perception is, you know? And it's great that the locals, the local franchise owners can pool their money and help create something bigger. And then with somebody like yourself driving it, that's fantastic. Tell us, is there a growth story? Is there like a story that you have that was just like an incredible, wow, they got, you know, 1 million impressions because we did bah?
Well, what we do, and is really important to them, is turn on the ability to track cost per lead, in terms of they're trying to generate leads and have customers reach out to them and make contact to them. And they're on tight budgets, as everyone is in this market, and we can provide them the ability of going dollar for dollar, for every X dollars you're going to generate a lead, and therefore they can get the return on investment. And that is huge to a small business owner, which is who, in this case, we're talking to. Even though we're talking about a lot of them, individually, each one is their own CEO and makes that decision, and they want to know, where's my dollar being spent? So television advertising, which is good for branding and the like, in this market, they're seeing a contraction for that market of that type of marketing, and actually looking at direct response type marketing. And and the internet allows them to do that. So they want to know, if I spend $2, what am I going to get?
Am I going to get a phone call that's going to turn into a, they're going to check somebody out, just information, or am I going to spend $9? Is it $9 every time that phone rings for that $9? I'm going to get somebody that's going to be coming in here and signing up for me. So that's a fantastic thing.
All of the offline, all of the offline radio, television, billboards have built-in tracking capabilities to them. And the internet, obviously, as we all know, has that ability out of the gate that allows us to do it even more and optimize based on it, so that we can do everything programmatically and not have to wait 30 days before we make buying decisions. We can do it immediately in a second and have it all done automatically for us.
That's fantastic. And then anywhere you can be on vacation and still check and report back to your clients. Tell us, that's a quick question. We have probably like a minute or so for this part of it, and then we can wrap it up a little bit. But tell us a little bit about the technologies. And the technologies, and here it is, basically the expertise in your marketing and the technologies and how they come together. besides the ROI and the instant
Sure.
reporting and stuff like that, tell us a little bit about the campaigning of traditional media to non-traditional and how we drive.
I can do it best by explaining my background. I was a software developer at IBM and Cisco for years, writing code in routers and on computers.
Oh, wow,
And
exciting.
then I went and got trained
Kidding, I'm sorry.
into the marketing
This seems
side.
more
That's
exciting
okay.
what you're doing now. Okay,
I
just for
love
the
this
record.
stuff
All right.
because it is this wonderful and uncomfortable space between the marketing and the technical side. There are a lot of subject matter experts in the marketing and subject matter experts on the technical sides, but where the two is and where the internet allows them is to bring it together. So back to your question about the expertise, web analytics, as we all know, Google Analytics being one of the free offerings that is out there, allows us to do that tracking so that every time we do something on the internet, we know exactly what happened, where that person came from. We can track back upstream to know that we found them on this paid search model or on this banner ad, and actually then make decisions, buying decisions on that, which
That's
is
fantastic.
dramatically important.
Especially to have a client that's willing to go in their pocket and say, okay, listen, I'm willing to spend $10 a hit. You know what I mean? You can be so effective on it.
Right.
And you get to target your message so refined because you're really now starting to go out there and almost cherry pick each one of your clients right out of a group of people, and put it up and send them to them. So that's fantastic. What's next? I mean, you're going to take this thing, or you're going to go into media buying, traditional media buying, in order to push people to the web, in order to help? I mean, what's your next year look like?
We're looking at it as taking it, what we have now, and moving into other franchise models. So taking it to other models where this need exists so that they can have online marketing where they wouldn't be able to afford it and actually know that they're getting a return on their investment. Just modeling it after a system-based architecture. So we created a system, now let's go and provide that and roll it out
give them
to other
almost
markets,
an option on
whether
how
it's
to do it. That's
education or
fantastic.
whether it's tax.
Now, if somebody wants to get on that. Somebody wants to get in on that. If they want to call you and find out what's going on, tell us how they can get a hold of you. Give us a URL and a telephone number and that kind of stuff.
Flat World Media, flatworldmedia.com. You can search on it or go to Flat World Media.
You better come up like in the top 5.
Number one since the beginning, of course.
Okay, I figured
with
that.
paid search and organic, 1-800-891-3963. But the web is obviously the most efficient and best way to reach us.
That's absolutely fantastic. Mark, thank you so much, and we really appreciate your
Thank you for
listening
having
to
me.
you. You guys sound like you got it going on over there. All
Thanks
right.
a lot. You have a great day.
All right. Media Talk is presented by Tampa Digital Studios and sponsored by the Creative Loafing. We have Maurice Lynch chatting with Janet when we come back here in 60 seconds.